Hello and welcome, Sudoku friends, to an evil level difficulty puzzle by websudoku.com. You can find the link to this puzzle in the description for this video. Let's get started right away. I'm seeing a 7-4 blocking down and over, so 7-4 must go in two of these three squares here. We got a 9 blocking up here and over. One of these must be a 9. 8 blocks over here and 2 8s block up here. So we got ourselves an 8 for this square here. 1 and a 9 block here and a 1 and a 9 block here. So these two squares must be a 1 and a 9, and therefore these two must be a 3 and an 8. And that gives us an 8 for this square here. And how is that, you may ask? Well, this 8 blocks here, here, and here. This 8 blocks here. We need an 8 for this row. And the only place it can go if this 8 blocks down and a ghost 8 blocks up is here. Now the 3. We don't have as much luck with the 3 because the 3 blocks up here and all of these 3 squares can be 3s. So we'll have to figure out something else for those. But let's see, we found this 8 here. Now we got an 8 blocking over and down. We have a 9 blocking over here and here. So a 9 blocks down here. So here is a 9, and that resolves the 1 and a 9 we just talked about here. Now this 1 blocks up, this blocks down, while this blocks across. Here is a 1, and that makes this cell here also a 1. We are making a little progress. One of these must be a 1 now. Question is, what are these 3? They must be a 3, 7, and a 6. So 6 here or here. We also have 6s in one of these two squares. And in one of these two squares here. We also had an 8, didn't we? 8 blocks down and over. No, an 8 could also go here, potentially. So, no, we didn't. But a 3, 4, and a 5 for these squares. Let's see, 4 blocks up, 4 blocks over. No, it's not really anything. Over here we need a 3, 7, 2, and a 5. 5 blocks down and over. Speaking of 5s, one of these must be a 5 because this 5 blocks over, this blocks up. One of these is a 5, therefore one of these is a 5. But that's just a stray observation. We need a 1 and a 2 for 2 of these squares here because we got a 1 and a 2 here, 1 and a 2 here. We need 1 and a 2 over here somewhere. 2, 9 blocking up, 2 blocking over, 2 goes here or here. What about the 9? No, 9 goes here or here. That's a pity. I think I was talking about these a little earlier. We were talking about a 5, 3, and a what? And a 4. The 5 must go here or here, yes. 4 blocks up and 4 over. No, I don't really see that. 3 here, here, or here, of course, because this cannot be a 3 due to the 3 blocking up here, right? Three and 8, 2, 4, 5, 7 for these squares. That's also not so easy. But a 9, of course, blocks over. I must be blind. Here's another 9 blocking down, so here's a 9. This 9 blocks up, and this blocks up, this blocks across. Here is a 9, and therefore a 9 goes up here. We got all the 9s now. So here we are just looking for a 3, 4, and a 2. The 2 must go here because this 2 blocks this square, this 2 blocks this square. Here's a 2, this is a 3, 4 now. And we got a 4 blocking here, so here's a 3, and here's and here now we need a 5 and a 3. 5, 3, and a 7. 3 blocks up. So here's a 5 or a 7, here's a 3 or a 7, here's a 5 or a 3. Well, we got some digits, but we're still missing a lot. 176 here, 6 blocks over, so a 6 goes here. This is a 1, 7. 7, 1 blocks up, so here's a 7 and here's a 1. So 6, 6. No, not really. 4, 5, and a 7 here. 4 blocks over, so one of these is a 4. Therefore, one of these is a 4. 5. 5 here or here. 4, 5, and a 7 across here. This row 8, there's a 4 and a 7 here. So here's a 5. This is a 4, 7. This is a 4, 7 now. We know that one of these must be a 5 for the simple reason that one of these must be a 5 blocking over, right? So 5 blocks up here, making this a 5. Now one of these is a 5. 2 empty squares here, and they must be a 3 and a 2. The 2 blocks here, so here's a 3, here's a 2. 3 blocks down, possible 3 here blocks up, here's another 3. 5 and 7 now, 7 blocks up, so the 5 is forced to go here and the 7 here. 7 now in one of these squares, therefore in one of these 2 squares. Another digit that can't go here is a 3, because the 3 blocks up, so 3 and 7 must go over here, therefore a 5 or a 2 must go here. Can we do anything with that? 2, 2, 5, 7, 2, 3. 2, 3, 5, 7. No, I don't really think so. I'll have to look at something else. 1, 3, 6, and an 8 here. 6, 8. So this is a 1, 3. 1, 3. This is a 6 or an 8. By the way, yeah, the 8 blocks over and 8 blocks down. Yes, one of these is an 8. Can we do anything about the 7, 4 we talked about from the beginning? They need to go in one of these 3 squares. Can we figure out the third digit that will have to go here? Yes, a 2. The 2 blocks across here and the 2 blocks down. So we got 2, 7, 4 in these 3 squares. And that gives me a 1 here. And an 8 and a 6 for these squares. 6 blocks down, here's an 8, here's a 6. 8 blocks up and down, therefore an 8 must go here. Now this was an 8-3 pair, the 8 blocks over, so a 3 goes here and the 8 here. this square can only be a 5, and therefore this must be a 5. These squares must be a 7 and a 4 now. This is also a 7 and a 4, so this is not a 7 or a 4. This third digit that is missing here is a 2, so this must be a 2. Let me explain why. Let me take this away again. 7, 4 must go in these two squares, and 7, 4 must go in this square. We cannot have another 7 or a 4 here, because then we would have a unique rectangle. And that is not possible in a valid Sudoku puzzle. So if this is not a 7 or a 4, and we have only 3 empty squares in this box here, then we know that this square must be a 2. So now this is a 7, 4, this is a 7, 4, these two are 7 and 4s, and therefore these must be a 3 and a 6. And we also know that a 3 and a 6 can't go here, 6 blocks over here, and a 7, 3 and 7 cannot go here. So what can go here? Only a 2. And this is now a 3 and a 7. The 7 blocks down, so here's a 3, here's a 7. This cannot be a 3 now, it must be a 6, and this must be a 3. The last square in column 1 now must be a 3. We only need a 1 up here and a 4. 4 blocks down, so here's a 7 and the 4 and the 4 and the 7. Like so. Here we need a 6. And that makes this square a 6 as well. Here we are going to have a 7. And that makes this cell a 7 too. These must be a 2 and a 4. This square can only be a 2, making this a 2 and this a 4. And therefore this is a 4. And this square must be a 5, making this a 5. The last square in this puzzle is a 3. It must go here. This was quite a pleasant puzzle. We did have the unique rectangle down here that we needed to solve. We might probably, I should say, have gotten this to in another way, but this seemed like a clever way to do it. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.